everyone. This is Michelle Gramoglia, the President and CEO here at Woodland Pond, and this is my weekly address for Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. I have very little for the address today, so I'll just start with a couple of things. First and foremost, 2 addresses ago, I believe that it was, I had announced that we had our announced or unplanned skilled nursing annual survey from the Department of Health, which is a regulatory survey that they come in and audit the facility for compliance with regulation and law. And it's a very heavily focused on quality, and whereas it used to be very driven by medical records and things like that, now it's moved into much more of an interview style process. A lot more subjectivity is included in the survey than it used to be in the past. And I had announced at that time that we would be expecting to get what is called a statement of deficiencies. And that based on our exit conference with the surveyors, we expected that we would probably have no more than 5 citations, and that they would all be what is in the category of no resident harm, which we were very excited about. We did indeed receive that statement of deficiencies late last week, and in fact, we did have 5 citations, and we know from both the surveyors and from industry data that the average in the state right now is somewhere between 10 and 12. So we're very happy about that. And indeed, none had any kind of resident harm attached to them. So we are quite excited about that. The process now is that our team spent the day Friday and finalized yesterday, putting together what's called our plan of correction for each of those 5 items. And a lot of the things that we included in the plans of correction were really just a formalization of processes and procedures that we already had in place. So for example, and I think I used this as an example last time, but it's the easiest one to talk about. We accept what the state calls grievances in a myriad of ways. Of course, we're all very accessible to residents and families, loved ones, board members, stakeholders, email, phone, stop in and say hi, resident council meetings, tons of resident committees. And while we have always had an official grievance officer, which is our social services manager, we were not necessarily attaching complaints and other things that we had received, concerns, to a technical grievance form, although we've had one for many years. So that's an easy fix. It's just sort of making sure that this is communicated and that this is the official title of this person. And the other things kind of go along with that same or similar thinking. Not sure if everyone is aware of this or not, but one of the routine things and mechanisms that Woodland Pond has in place to ensure the highest quality service provision in the health center, for example, is in addition to all of the normal processes that we follow, we have something called our Quality Assurance and Performance Improvement Committee and Program, which is QAPI for short. And this is a committee that's comprised of folks from across the community that are what we consider to be interdepartmental, meaning they can be from the health center, clinical staff, the medical director, our plant operations folks, our environmental services folks, infection control folks. And we all meet and get together once every 2 months. There is actually a board member that is the chair of an associated board of directors committee. And then all of the board members are invited to attend these meetings anytime they want to. It's a great mechanism for us to be able to add things on if we think that there's a specific process that needs performance improvement, or things can come off of that list as we make the improvements that we want to see. the reality is there's a lot of moving parts here at Woodland Pond, a service-based organization that combines both healthcare and hospitality. So we're always going to have things that we want to work on. And this QAPI program actually is great, because one of the things that we're able to do and demonstrate with our plans of correction for the survey is to validate for the state that proactively each of these, although we're not required to, we are actually going to run them through our QAPI program for the next several months, make sure that any additional items that need to get attended to there are attended to, and then this way there's a formalized process for follow through. So at any rate, we will attach those plans of correction into the electronic submission system today, and the state will review those responses, make sure that they feel that they're adequate, and then once approved, that will be finalized. That survey will be finalized. We are anticipating at any time that the assisted living annual survey, of which we have only had one or two since 2016, could happen at any time. So it's great to be able to take crossover from some of the things that came from the skilled survey if they have application. When we put a program or an improvement into place, we do it campus wide. If it has application, we wouldn't just look at a single unit. So each of these things just allows us to strengthen the service provision that we have here at Woodland Pond. And again, very, very proud of the team. Congratulations on, fewer than half of the state average in terms of citations and no resident harm. And we will work on these improvements and carry on. Let's see, we've got just one thing from the rumor mill. And actually one came in the rumor mill and one came in an email, but they're both a similar concept, and they have to do with Social Security imposters is the way that this is written. So let me just read this to you. This says Social Security imposters sound authentic and have been targeting older adults via email, phone calls, or text messages. And it's the recommendation that all residents should be very suspicious of any Social Security related communication, anything regarding your Social Security statement, your account, any offers to change anything related to your Social Security logins or your passwords. You definitely do not give anybody information over the phone or in an email related to Social Security. There is a way to verify if a Social Security call or text message is real, and there's a phone number here. I will read it here just so that you can write it down if you'd like to, but we will include it in the Chanticleer on Friday so that you've got it right there in front of you. So in order to verify if a communication that you get from Social Security is real, you are going to not do anything. You're not going to respond to that, but what you're going to do is you're going to hang up the phone or put your email away, and then you're going to call 1-800-772-1213. Again, that phone number is 1-800-772-1213. On a similar note, although this was not in the box, I know I personally have been receiving and have heard from a number of you that you are receiving what are concerning text messages and emails related to an Easy Pass problem. Easy Pass is that automated toll system that New York has implemented, and I'm getting them on a weekly basis at this point saying you owe money on your Easy Pass account, or there's a problem with the Easy Pass. This is a scam. This is not how Easy Pass would communicate with you. And if you're getting those, just delete them or ignore them. But in all of these cases, it's better to be, maybe considered to be rude, or you may feel a little bit irresponsible if you don't respond to these things, but this is what the scammers count on. So you just have to make sure that you're mindful of those things. Let's see, going into just some upcoming items of interest. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday at 7:30 in the PAC, the Hudson Valley Flute Ensemble will present their spring concert. which will feature music by Bernstein, Gershwin, Rossini, and others. And this is always very well attended, Gretch has reminded me. So please do make sure that you sign up at Concierge. And this will be one of the events that you'll see. We are going to leave that back row of seats open and ask that you do not sit in those. Those will be for latecomers. And if you are a latecomer, please do enter the room very quietly and just take one of those seats in the back. On Thursday at 2 p.m., we have our next session of Council Connections, and Joe Cosentino will be the interviewer, and the guest will be Matt Romer, our fitness coordinator. So you won't want to miss that. Next week, our Dulcimers have their spring concert. There will be 2 performances, one on Monday the 19th at 2 p.m. in the Health Center Great Room, and one on Thursday, May 22nd at 3 p.m. in the PAC. Also on the 19th at 7:30 in the PAC will be Peter Brown's next Wanderlust Rhythms video night. And this time the theme is Baltic Beauties, filmed during a tour that Peter took in 2016 of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. And we do encourage you to sign up at Concierge. Again, another very popular event. Actually, backtracking to this Friday, the ArtScope folks have reserved the PAC for a vendor sale. This has been announced and is shared with permission, as you would have seen in the Chanticleer, I think this time or last time. But the current artist that is showing in the PAC will be having table sales for scarves that you're interested in. You are invited to attend that, but with the knowledge that this is a sale. We always want to make sure that you know if there is going to be a sale or a financial component. I do not see on here the mechanism for which Anita will accept payment. So I would just plan on cash. If you don't have another alternative, there's the ATM right there at the bank. And last but not least, for those residents that are not familiar with this process or the fact that this exists, last year we were able to hook in with a gentleman that named Paul Steely White, who is part of a not-for-profit in Gardner that was able to acquire what's called a pedicab, or a partially electric run, partially manually run bike that has a scoop seat in the front that's intended for adult use, to be able to provide piloted or ridden rides on this really cool customized bike. We'll try to get some pictures up for that so that you can kind of envision what I'm talking about. But as we did last year, there will be opportunities for residents to sign up for rides on the pedicab. They are going to be on May 22nd and May 23rd from 9:30 to 11, and then on May 30th also from 9:30 to 11. And for that, you will be able to sign up at Concierge. You'll depart from Dry Fly, which is in New Paltz, down next to actually in the first level of Zero Place. It's a coffee shop. But these are really great. And I know that a number of you have taken advantage of these pedicab rides in the past. There's no charge for this, and we'll get more details out in the Chanticleer this week. And with that, I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next week.